The war of words between Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira hasn't stopped since both emerged victorious at UFC 276, but citing cartoons might not be enough to get into the Brazilian's head. After his latest defense of the UFC middleweight title, Adesanya proclaimed that Pereira was next and was gonna get frozen like Elsa. That led former UFC champion Jon Jones, who has traded barbs with Adesanya for years now, to wonder on Twitter, how are you going to threaten a guy like Alex with glossy fingernails and a frozen reference? Pereira had a similar reaction, but for other reasons. Unlike Jones, the former two-division Glory champion simply had no idea what Adesanya was talking about. I had a bit rough and difficult life. I started working in a tire shop when I was 12, so my childhood was cut off early because I had to work, so I didn't watch many cartoons, movies, and series. Sometimes you'll ask me something and I won't know how to answer and I'll just say I didn't watch it. Some people will say I'm an arrogant person, but my childhood was different. Most of my childhood was busy with work and trying to help provide to my family. Sometimes I see doing cartoon stuff that, to me, doesn't make any sense, because I don't even know who Frozen is. I'm not being arrogant, I'm not being ignorant, I just didn't even know up until that point who Frozen was. If you're going to freeze me, I guess it's related to ice? I don't know. I wasn't getting it. First, I don't speak English. And even if I did, the look on my face would be the same, because he said he would make fight look easy and he didn't, Pereira said. Goes there and it's something else. I don't. People already have expectations. I lay low, stay silent. Alex, are you going to knock him out? No, I just wanna do a good fight. I go there and knock him out and people be like, damn, awesome. People start to see who Alex Pereira is. This Frozen stuff, Naruto, Dragon Ball Z, to me, makes no sense whatsoever. People that understand and believe in the cartoon might be influenced. Oh, he's going to freeze him. He'll freeze me like the cartoon. Is he? But, how? I don't know how he's going to freeze me. Is he putting me in the fridge? Is that it? I don't know how this cartoon works. The UFC has yet to officially announce Pereira as Adesanya's next contender, but the Brazilian is confident that the deal will be done soon. Amanda Nunes was at her championship best on Saturday night. But Dana White thinks she could have been even better. The UFC president spoke to the media following Saturday's UFC 277 event at American Airlines Center in Dallas, and while he showered Nunes with praise for an impressive unanimous decision win over rival Julianna Peña, he also pointed out that he felt Nunes may have held back just a little with a December 2021 loss to Peña possibly still on her mind. I think two things, Julianna's tough as nails and her will to win was second to none. She wanted to win. I think as dominant as Amanda was, and she was dominant tonight, I didn't think it was close any way, shape, or form, it was a complete shutout, but she still looked a little gun-shy to me. Going in against the person who beat you the first time, I could see that happening. I mean, it's stupid for me to even say that. It was an absolutely dominant performance. I think she was concerned about her cardio probably, because when you think about the way that she fought Cyborg, she usually throws tons of punches, White said. She had Julianna hurt many times, had her on crazy legs a couple of times, and never really went in for the kill. She could have, but she didn't. There's a big difference between submission attempts and knockdowns. It's not even comparable. In her post-fight interview, Nunes said she was looking to take some time off as opposed to jumping into a third fight with Peña or going back up to 145 pounds to defend her other belt. She added that she expected to take time off, which White said she absolutely has earned. When she returns, it might not be Peña that she meets in a trilogy bout, but rather UFC flyweight champion, and current No. 1 in MMA fighting's pound-for-pound rankings, Valentina Shevchenko. Nunes hold 2 wins over Shevchenko, but their second fight went to a razor-thin decision and they have been so successful since fighting one another that a third clash has seemed inevitable at times. That's not a bad idea. Normally I would say, come on, man, but that's not a bad idea really when you think about it. I'm not saying, yes, I'm just saying it's not a bad idea. Paddy Pimblett scored another one at UFC London and once again he found himself wanting more from his own performance. After submitting Jordan Leavitt in his most recent bout, Pimblett said in his post-fight interview that he wasn't completely pleased with the win, a somewhat surprising stance given that he improved to 3-0 inside the octagon with 3 finishes. However, Leavitt gave Pimblett a stiff challenge, and Pimblett talked about what he could have done better in an interview on the Pat McAfee show on Tuesday. That's just how I am sometimes. I was disappointed in my performance. I felt like I should have went out there and blasted him out in a round. I know I still finished someone that's never been finished before. He's had 11 pro fights, lost 1, and never been finished, and I choked his ass. He got dealt with like I knew he was going to get dealt with. I said the whole time he's going to get finished. I thought it was going to be a knockout, but he defends punches well. It's quite weird. He doesn't like to defend them in a skillful way, but he defends them well, and then he just grabs a hold of you. But I think I won the first round on all judges' scorecards and then got the finish in the second, so I'm not too fussed. Obviously, when I look back now I realize I was being very emotional going into the fight. I watched it back today, and every punch I throw I'm trying to take his head off. I didn't throw a punch where I'm trying to set a shot up, I'm just walking forward throwing punches. As for why his fights typically unfold as back and forth affairs, Pimblett had a simple explanation. I can fight like that every time. I'm a big, fat bastard at the minute, but if someone rang me now and said, get outside for a straightener, I'd be out there beating them up. I enjoy getting punched and punching people in the face. It sounds very weird, but I enjoy it. Pimblett has become one of the lightweight division's most popular fighters, and all kinds of matchups have been proposed by fans and media, ranging from fighters close to his level of UFC experience and veterans with bigger names that could be trending downward from a competitive standpoint. At the moment, Pimblett acknowledged he's nowhere near the top of the 155-pound rankings, and he's in no rush to prove that he belongs there. Have you seen some of the names on that list? Some of the names on that list are scary. I don't care. The UFC lightweight division is the best division in the whole UFC by far. It's the deepest division. All the way down to rank 50 in lightweight is very good, so I don't mind taking my time climbing up the rankings. I'm not in no rush. I'm going to take my time and earn a lot of money as I do take my time. Making money is priority no. One for the 27-year-old Englishman, who has a lucrative sponsorship deal with Barstool Sports. The next move for Pimblett would appear to be a fight on a major card in the United States. Pimblett has ruled out competing at Madison Square Garden, though, as he's not thrilled at the thought of his purse being subjected to New York's high state income tax. Come on. That tax man just taking all my dough. That's not happening. The tax man's not getting my money in New York. Days before her second UFC fight in 2017, Caitlyn Vieira told MMA Fighting she dreamed of becoming the female version of Jose Aldo. 5 years later, Vieira is close to securing a shot at UFC Gold and feels she's about to turn that dream into reality. With Amanda Nunes back at the top of the bantamweight division after a dominant victory over Julianna Peña at UFC 277 this past Saturday, Vieira told MMA Fighting's Troca Calfranca that she believes she should be next in line. A win over the Lioness, Vieira said, would cement her own place in the history of the sport, just like her teammate Aldo did. Made history and won against the best, a champion in 2 divisions. So, for sure, if I can win a title fight against Amanda Nunes, I'll be turning a dream into reality and becoming the female version of Jose Aldo. My dream is to become champion, no matter how. I want to be the female version of Jose Aldo and become the first Amazonas-born UFC champion. Nunes holds belts in the 135-pound and 145-pound divisions in the UFC, and it's not yet clear what's next for her after beating Peña. A trilogy bout with flyweight queen Valentina Shevchenko is one of the possible options, but Vieira thinks Bullet shouldn't receive the chance because she lost to Taila Santos at UFC 275, Vieira said, and Amanda beat Shevchenko 2 times already, so it doesn't make sense. Vieira is coming off back-to-back decision wins over Holly Holm and Miesha Tate. She also holds victories over the likes of Kat Zingano and Sarah McMahon, both of whom once challenged Ronda Rousey for the bantamweight throne. I never wanted to fight Brazilians, because there aren't many of us in the UFC, especially in the bantamweight division. Only if it was for the belt. But there's no other way. My dream and goal will always speak louder than that. I want to make it clear that I don't want to fight Amanda, I want to fight for the belt, and currently she's the champion. I'm not asking for anything absurd here, I've earned it. I won against 2 former champions. The only woman to do that was Amanda Nunes, so I truly believe I'm next. Vieira said that Nunes' performance in the Peña rematch went just as expected and showed the Amanda of old, with hunger to be champion. She didn't, however, agree with Nunes' comments about wanting to go 5 rounds to prove a point instead of finishing Peña earlier. When we're in there, and I speak for myself here, I want to end it as soon as possible, Vieira said. If you don't do it, you can get. I think every athlete goes there wanting that, but there's another athlete in there just as prepared as we are, and sometimes it goes to a decision. In my opinion, I saw that was afraid of getting tired, or didn't want to take risks. That's what I think, but only she knows. The Nova União talent wants to face Nunes in Brazil in 2023 and believes she has the perfect style to dethrone the Lioness when it finally happens. DD always said, "I have a great game to put on a good fight with Amanda. I'm big, just like her, was twice as big as Julianna Peña, who didn't have physical strength to grapple with her. She was also lost when Nunes switched stances. She didn't expect that. We can't be surprised in a fight, we have to be prepared for everything."